$122 billion. Let me say that again, because I don't think you heard me. $122 billion in one funding round. That's not startup money. That's not even big company money. That is nation-state money. There are entire countries with smaller GDPs than what OpenAI just raised in a single afternoon. And the craziest part? The companies writing these checks aren't random investors. Amazon put in $50 billion. NVIDIA, $30 billion. SoftBank, another $30 billion. 3 companies looked at OpenAI and said, yeah, take $110 billion. We think you're going to run the future. But here's the thing nobody wants to talk about. After all of that money, OpenAI is still losing money. They burned through $8 billion last year, and the bill is about to get a lot bigger. So what's actually going on? Why does a company that's losing billions need $122 billion more? And what are they building that's so expensive? Let me break it all down. Okay, before we get to the problems, I need to show you why investors are losing their minds over this company. Because the growth numbers are genuinely insane. OpenAI is making $2 billion a month. A month. For context, they went from $1 billion a year in 2023 to $2 billion a month in 2026. In 3 years. And they know it. In their own announcement, they actually wrote, and I'm not making this up, quote, "We are growing revenue 4 times faster than the companies who defined the internet," end quote. They called out Google and Meta by name in their own press release. That's either the most confident move in tech history or the most reckless. I genuinely can't tell. But the user numbers are even crazier. 900 million people use ChatGPT every week. Every week. That's not annual users, that's not monthly, that's weekly. 900 million. 50 million of those are paying subscribers. And their enterprise business, the companies paying them serious money, is now 40% of their total revenue. Banks are using it. Law firms are using it. Hospitals are using it. Oh, and remember when Sam Altman said he would never put ads in ChatGPT? Called it a last resort? Well, the last resort just started, and it made $100 million in 6 weeks. So yeah, the money machine is working. But here's the question everyone should be asking. If you're making $2 billion a month, why do you need $122 billion more? The answer is terrifyingly simple. Because AI is the most expensive technology ever built. OpenAI is planning to spend $600 billion on infrastructure by 2030. $600 billion on buildings and chips and power and cooling systems to keep those chips from literally melting. To give you an idea of how insane that is, that's more than NASA's entire budget for the next 25 years on servers. And it gets weirder. You'd think OpenAI would just use Microsoft's cloud, right? They're partners. Microsoft invested $13 billion in them. Nope. OpenAI is now also running on Amazon's cloud, and Oracle's cloud, and Google's cloud. Yes, Google's cloud. They are paying their direct competitor to host their infrastructure while trying to destroy them in the AI race. That's like Coca-Cola renting Pepsi's factory to make Coke. It makes no sense until you realize OpenAI is so desperate for computing power, they'll take it from literally anyone. Same story with chips. They're buying from NVIDIA, AMD, Cerebras, Amazon's custom chips. And on top of that, they're designing their own chip with Broadcom. Because even with every chip maker on the planet selling to them, it's still not enough. This is the part that should make you pay attention. OpenAI doesn't just want to be a software company. They want to own the physical infrastructure of intelligence itself. The buildings, the chips, the wires, everything. Now, if the infrastructure is the body, the super app is the brain. OpenAI just announced they're building what they call a super app. One single application that combines ChatGPT, their coding tool Codex, a web browser, and AI agents that can actually do things for you. Think about that for a second. Right now, you open ChatGPT to write. You open a browser to search. You open a different tool to code. You open another app to schedule. You open another app to edit. OpenAI wants to kill all of that. One app, one interface. Everything happens inside it. And they're already making moves. They shut down Sora, their AI video generator that everyone was hyped about. Gone. They're killing side projects, consolidating everything into one product. You know who else did this? WeChat. One app that became the entire internet for 1 billion people in China. You chat on it, you pay on it, you order food on it, you book flights on it, you do everything on it. That's what OpenAI wants ChatGPT to become, for the entire world, with 900 million users already in the door. If they pull this off, you won't use ChatGPT as a tool anymore. You'll live inside it. Okay, this is the part of the video where most channels would wrap up and tell you to subscribe. But that's not how we do things here. Because there are 4 massive problems with this deal, and almost nobody is covering them. Problem 1. The math doesn't work yet. OpenAI made $13.1 billion last year. Sounds incredible, right? They also spent $21 billion. They burned through $8 billion in cash. And this year, the spending is projected to hit $17 billion. Next year, $35 billion. The revenue is growing fast, but the costs are growing faster. That's not a business model. That's a race. And they're praying the finish line shows up before the gas runs out. Problem 2. Amazon's money comes with a catch. Everyone reported Amazon invested $50 billion. What most people missed? $35 billion of that doesn't actually get paid, unless OpenAI goes public or achieves AGI, artificial general intelligence, the thing that doesn't exist yet. So Amazon is basically saying, prove it first, then we'll pay you. That's not a check. That's an IOU with conditions. Problem 3. Apple just slammed the door. If you watched our last video, you already know this. Apple chose Google to power the next generation of Siri. Not OpenAI, not ChatGPT. Google's Gemini. That's over 1 billion iPhones that could have been running ChatGPT, now running a competitor's AI. The single biggest distribution opportunity in tech, and OpenAI lost it. And problem 4. The IPO is coming. OpenAI is expected to go public this year. And when they do, the books open. Every dollar of spending, every dollar of losses, every projection that didn't pan out. They're not expected to turn cash flow positive until 2029, 3 years from now. And Wall Street does not have the patience of a venture capitalist with a dream. The honeymoon ends the moment the stock ticker goes live. Here's the part that most people miss, and it's the reason I made this video. This isn't about whether ChatGPT is cool. This is about who gets to build the foundation of the entire AI era. OpenAI didn't hide what they're doing. They said it in their own words. Quote, "We are becoming the core infrastructure for AI," end quote. Infrastructure. Not a product, not an app. Infrastructure. Like electricity, like the internet. The invisible thing that everything else runs on. If OpenAI succeeds at this, it won't matter if you use ChatGPT or not. Your bank will run on it. Your hospital will run on it. Your employer will run on it. The apps on your phone will run on it. The customer service bot that annoys you will run on it. You'll be inside OpenAI's ecosystem, whether you chose to be or not. $122 billion is not a funding round. It's a down payment on becoming the operating system of modern civilization. That's not a software update. That's a power shift. OpenAI raised more money in one afternoon than most companies make in a lifetime. The technology is real. The growth is undeniable. But the risks? The risks are just as real. And the only people who lose in the AI race are the ones who aren't paying attention. If you want to stay on top of everything happening in AI and tech, subscribe to Bullents. We don't just tell you the exciting parts. We tell you the full picture. Drop a comment. Is OpenAI worth $852 billion? Or is this the biggest bubble in tech history? I want to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.